Hey there, this is Mike, and today I'm going to be playing Metal Dawn from Everything Epic Games. This is a bit of a sort of Terminator-ish theme, in that a robot called Dominus, basically like a weapons platform satellite, has gone sentient and wants to wipe out all humanity, and has a bunch of robot soldiers to help him do that. So your job is to try, first of all, to hack Dominus. So he's got these codes you have to work through to make him vulnerable. And then he comes down in crazy killer robot form, and you have to fight him and defeat him. Meanwhile, he's trying to move this Metal Dawn token along a track, and if it gets all the way to the Metal Dawn space, then the players immediately lose. That basically represents, I guess, the entire world being controlled by metal and robots and such. So I've already done the initial spawning for the game. You've got four types of enemies. Right now we only have two of them. These are the basic little drones, very easy to kill. These are soldiers, kind of the second weakest type of enemy. We don't have any of these cyborgs or exterminators on the board yet, luckily, but we do have a whole bunch of guys. And basically at the end of every turn, Metal Dawn's going to move one automatically, but then if these guys are allowed to do damage, they'll move that token even further along. So we really want to try to take out these guys. At the same time, though, we're trying to get intel, which is these little floppy disk icons, and we use the intel to break Dominus's codes. We have to actually go to where he is and do actions to break his codes. I'm kind of getting a bit ahead of myself, so let me actually show you the characters and walk you through how a turn works. So in Metal Dawn, each player controls two different agents, so you always have 2 times the number of players as agents. Although in a solo game like I'm playing, you still have to play at least 2 pairs of agents. You can never play just single pair. So they each have a special ability. In this case, Morgan can assassinate a guy. She moves into his space. They each have a health total, 6 health in this case. They have a division, which gives them a once per game special ability. And they can each hold up to 1 weapon and 1 gear. Just to kind of show you what these look like, there's a weapon. You'll see they each have a number of uses. This is true of gear and weapon, so each time you use it, you rotate it 1, and then it gets discarded if it runs out of actual attack. And weapons will have the range and how much damage they do. Gear will have other special abilities. So how the general flow of the game goes is one player will activate, and he'll pick either of his 2 agents to perform 2 actions, plus potentially some free actions in addition. Then the other player will activate one of his agents, go back to the first player for his other agent, back to that player for his other agent, and then Dominus and the robots will get a chance to attack and spawn more guys. So that's kind of the general flow of a turn. Now, to familiarize yourself a bit more with the people I have available, on my covert ops teams, first of all, the covert ops, I can flip it once per game to activate a zone anywhere on the board. You'll see what that means in just a moment. And this is a zone activation token. Basically lets me use like a location's power once per turn. And then she's got a 9mm pistol. This again is Morgan. She can kill somebody when she moves into their space, which pairs well with the pistol because even though it only does 2 damage, after you destroy a unit with this, you may immediately resolve a free movement action to that unit's location. So it's going to give Morgan extra movement combined with her little assassin power should be really nice. She additionally has automated manufacturing. She can just use this to get intel cards straight up, which is going to let us hack Dominus more quickly and get us closer to the game. So a nice little card there. Earl Hawk is a transporter. He can move 1 other unit to any unoccupied location on the board. Now, my understanding of the rules is that since it's not Morgan's turn, she would not be able to use her power when she moves in to destroy a guy, but still he can help people not have to waste their actions moving. He's got the assault rifle I already showed you, and a rucksack. Just lets him carry 2 more things. So he could have 2 more weapons, or 2 more gear, or gear and a weapon. So as we get more stuff, he's going to be able to hold on to more. Because normally, a character can only have like 1 weapon. If they get a new one, they have to discard the old one, basically. Okay, then over here on my technologies team, the tech card lets me flip it down to cancel a spawn ability or a special ability on one of the Dominus cards, which you'll see at the end of the turn. So that can be helpful to save me in a bad situation. They've both got med packs, 2 uses. They can heal 4 damage. Definitely good because if one of these guys is fully defeated, I do get a new character, a new agent, but you only have as many as the number of players. So if 3 guys get defeated over the course of the game, I would immediately lose because I wouldn't have any more agents. So nobody's ever down below 2 agents. If you would go down below 2 agents and you have no extra ones to replace them, you lose the game. Okay, so we've got Nomad. Martial arts, once per turn, may automatically destroy a soldier unit in your current zone. If you remember back to the board, we have a ton of soldiers, so that's going to certainly help me out. And marks, each time you enter a zone, you may reveal any one unit in that zone. So we'll talk about revealing in a second when I take my actions, but that's going to pair really well with Morgan on the other team, because he'll reveal them and then she can immediately destroy people who are revealed. Should be a nice little combo there. Now let me show you the board for a second and kind of talk through how actions actually work. So all my guys start off the board. So if Morgan wants to do anything, her first action has to be a movement action. Now when you move, you have to go to one of these 4 spaces and it has to be unoccupied. So for example, in the training grounds, I couldn't actually fit in there right now because all 4 locations are taken. Now when you move though, you get to immediately perform the action icon of the place you move to. So this little bullseye is a great one. If an enemy is revealed, then you get to kill them straight away. This lets you get more weapons, and this reveals all enemies in a space. So I've mentioned revealing several times. Let me show you what it means. Here, I'll use a spare enemy. So here's an exterminator. You'll notice that they have a little thing over their base, but it doesn't show anything yet. Now when you slide it over, it's revealed sometimes a special ability and also their actual health value. Now you know the ranges very clearly. For the guys who are on the board, soldiers can be either 2 or 3, and little probes are always 1. So you don't always know, like the attack damage dealt by a weapon is always consistent, but you're not always sure if you're going to actually defeat the guy or not. But either way, they stay revealed, which again makes them more vulnerable to Morgan's assassination, to these little assassin icons. So you can still defeat guys. Like if you miss an attack, they are still left vulnerable, so it's not wasted. Now some free actions. I can use my character's power for a free action during my turn. I can, once per team, because I only have 1 token for the entire yellow team, I can activate an entire zone's ability, and these are each unique. So the subway lets you resolve the location ability of any empty location on a zone at range 2 from you. The location abilities are these little icons. So each of the zones has their own special ability that, again, I can activate once per team per round. Additional free actions, in addition to each character having a weapon and a gear, I can hold for the team a weapon and a gear, and as a free action I can equip that to the character, although I have to discard the old one they have. But as I use up the bullets and uses of my gear, that's going to be a really useful thing. Alright, so let's actually resolve the first turn. I'm going to start with the yellow team, and I'm going to activate Earl, since he can transport somebody else onto the board and hopefully save me an action and let me attack these guys more. Because again, I've spawned a lot of guys to start the game, more than I'm comfortable with, and I don't want them to get free damage and move that little Metal Dawn token too far right off the bat. So Earl's going to go into the subway, and he's going to go to this little reveal icon that lets me reveal all the enemies in one zone. And I'm going to find out what all these soldiers are up to. Okay, so to zoom in, we've got 3 2s with no specials, and then we've got a 3 who will give us a gear if we defeat him. And now remember, Earl's character ability lets him bring in another character, lets him do a move for somebody. So I'm going to bring in Nomad, my soldier killer, and put her down here on the Washington Monument. Basically, this ability gives her extra damage, which she's going to need to defeat this 3 guy, because I want her to run in and grab that gun and also defeat him, and hopefully just mess up a whole bunch of these guys. Now he's going to go ahead before his second action and use the zone action to resolve the location ability of any empty location on a zone at range 2 from you. And he's just going to do this little assassination one to blow up one of these 2 soldiers now that he's revealed. And I will note that destroyed enemies go out of the game until you eventually run out of all enemies, and then Metal Dawn advances extra and they all come back in. And the rough thing is that as you run out of the lower guys, when you would spawn them, you have to spawn the tougher guys instead. So the game does accelerate if you wait too long to actually defeat Dominus and hack him. Alright, for Earl's second action, he's got his assault rifle. Can shoot up to range 4, and this is counted orthogonally, so that'd be like 1-2 range to go there. Does 3 damage, so he's going to use this, And since we know for certain that soldiers don't have more than 3 life, he's going to shoot one of these guys that's not revealed. And, oh, it's 2, and he gets a free gear. Oh, this is a fun one. Attack Helicopter. It only has a single use, but it says spend 1 use to either resolve a free attack action at both +1 range and +3 damage, or immediately destroy one unit from 3 different zones adjacent to your current zone. So this is interesting because I have to use this before my turn ends. And by the way, since Earl has the rucksack, he can hold this and not have to discard anything. He's able to hold both of them. But yeah, so I could use this now. It would be totally gone, but I could blow up 2 more of these guys no matter what. Now looking at it, she's going to almost certainly be able to destroy 1 of them, move in 2 of them. So she'll actually be able to destroy all 3 of these guys, including her special ability. And that leaves 2 of my remaining guys to destroy those 3. So worst case scenario, I think I'm looking at like 1 guy being left alive. So I don't think I need to use the attack helicopter later. I can wait it, save it for a more desperate situation. Okay, so Earl moved and attacked. So he is now done his activation. Okay, now with the space that Earl has cleared, Marks from the other team, remember he gets to reveal somebody when he moves into a space. He's going to go here. And it says, after drawing a weapon card at this location, immediately draw an additional one if I wanted to use that zone. I'm not going to, but I will go ahead and get a free weapon from the place that it's moved into. Alright, so it's a micro rocket. 4 damage. The attack targets up to 3 different units in the same target zone. Well, geez, this might just make my job a lot easier. I was going to do all this complicated stuff to, like, reveal them and all this stuff, but I can just straight up blow all 3 of them up. Now, the negative of that, though, is that I would have to discard my assault rifle, and then this would also be gone because it's only single use. So I'm going to keep this in the red player's hand. Remember, I can hold 1 weapon and 1 gear, and just keep my assault rifle, and again, save this kind of like the attack helicopter for a rainy day. And I will say, I don't have to give the attack helicopter to Hawk yet either, so I'll say that's in the yellow player's hand. I don't have to actually assign it yet. Okay, now I do get to reveal somebody for free as part of Marks' special power. So this soldier's got 3 defense again. And I'll also note, I have not mentioned this yet, but this is a top secret mission token. And what it means is when I'm in a location with one of these, I can discard it to draw a mission card. So yeah, let's look at what a mission card looks like right here. This is what I have to do, destroy a cyborg unit. Unfortunately, there are none on the board right now. There's a fail effect that advances Metal Dawn. Basically, if Dominus moves onto a place where one of these things is, then you have to do that, so I don't have to worry about that yet, hopefully. All of them have the same success effect. You can immediately retreat Metal Dawn back 1 space and basically buy yourself another turn. But you also have highly different skills on each one that can permanently upgrade your characters if they complete the mission. And you have to choose one of the 2 options. So this one says, stealth, you can treat occupied locations as if they were unoccupied. So I could like just straight in move here and use the assassination power associated with that location. So each character, by the way, can only have 1 active mission. So Marks now wants to destroy a cyborg unit. That's just going to go over by his character sheet. You'll see it later. Okay, so for Marks' second action, remember he moved in and revealed for free, and then getting the mission was a free action. He's going to go and use his assault rifle. 3 damage. He's going to rotate it. And he's going to blast this probe to free up this nice assassination space here. So we reveal him. A lot of probes have this power. It means they blow up as they die, so they just do 1 damage to every agent in the space. Luckily, Marks only had, he's the only guy there, so it's just 1 damage. He has 7 life, so now he's down to 6. Not too big of a deal at this point. Okay, so that was both of Marks' actions. So now, since Earl already went, and by the way, in the actual game, you would flip these guys over to show they're inactive, but we're not going to do that to save time. Morgan now can go. Remember, when she moves into a space once per turn, she can immediately defeat someone who is revealed in that space. So we're going to use that basically right here. Okay, so Morgan is going to move into the militia armory. So she can immediately defeat the soldier as her part of her assassination power. And additionally, because she moved onto a space with this icon, she can defeat another soldier. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy and give... Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. So, crud. Well, actually, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to move in there yet. Let me explain why. I want to, as a free action, use this gear, automated manufacturing. So I can spend 1 use to draw an intel card. I'm just actually going to use that 3 times because 3 intel is the max that a team can have. Now, intel cards go here, and note that they are shared by the yellow team, so either Earl or Morgan could make use of them. They have a value. I think 4 is the highest. And this value is used to directly oppose the code cards. I'm probably going to hack in a second, so you'll see how that all works. And they also have a special ability that you can use as an action if you discard the card. And it can be pretty powerful stuff. You can like get free weapons and gear. You can even destroy enemies straight up just by using an action. So we've got a full set of intel to try to hack our Dominus in a second. So we'll see what that looks like for her second action. But first now, so that was a free action before she moved. Then we do the movement. Let's go back to the board. Okay, so she came in, assassinated that guy. She's going to use this ability to assassinate this guy, which gets us a gear icon. And here's the method to my madness, why I wanted to do it in that order. Alright, I got the attack helicopter, and I can't have 2 gear in my hand. So now if I want to, this automated manufacturing, she already used all but 1 of its uses. So I can kind of safely get rid of that and replace it with whatever I drew. Smoke Grenade. Spend 1 use to cancel for the remainder of the turn all damage dealt to your agents from all units in your current zone. Which would basically stop them from advancing the Metal Dawn track and also stop them from hurting us. So, you know, I actually still want 1 more intel card, so I'm not going to even use this gear card I just drew from defeating that soldier. Alright, so we have 1 drone left over here, 2 soldiers. I'm very confident that Nomad, since she's already on the board, is going to be able to deal with both those soldiers very easily. So I could have her destroy the probe, but I kind of, with all my intel cards, want to hack Dominus, and I'll show you how that works. So as I mentioned before, you've got these 5 code cards. And every time you try to hack one of them, you flip it over and you get to see what its value is. When you hack all 5, at the end of that round, you go into the second stage where you call down the giant robot Dominus and you got to defeat him to win for good. So basically hacking is kind of like the first stage of the game. Now it works is you have to pick 1 of your intel cards, and that one's like automatically going to be discarded, and you're opposing it against their code card, but then you can add more value if needed. So I'm going to use my 2, because I kind of like to play it in the middle. You'll see why with some of these code cards potentially. So you'll see the code has a value, 5. I have to equal or exceed that. So I've got 2 so far. I can again add more, so I'm going to add my 4. I'll still keep my 1. And that gives me 6, which is equal to or greater than 5. A lot of these codes will have positive or negative effects. In this case, it says after this hacking attempt is resolved, the hacking agent draws either 1 weapon or 1 gear card. So that's great. So all that intel is discarded. The code is discarded. I've still got my 1 intel. Now what's going to happen here is I take the top Robot Dominus card and I put it over here. Now we're not going to worry about what its affected is yet, but basically it's going to tell me what the first 5 turns of activating the robot are going to do. So as I solve the code, I kind of get a sense of what my strategy might want to be when the guy first teleports down. Now she can choose to either draw a gear or a weapon from the code card. I'm going to get a weapon because I can hold one of those for my player, whereas I already have all the gear I need. So sadly I got a pretty cruddy weapon, a combat blade. It's only 2 damage, not any better than the pistol she already has. It does have 4 uses, which could come in handy, but for now I'm going to keep that with the attack helicopter in the yellow player's hand and not assign that to anybody. Okay, so now we're on our final activation with Nomad. I was going to use the Washington Monument for the zone activation to give her plus damage, but all the guys left only have 2 life, and her 9mm pistol does 2 damage, so we're going to have a pretty easy time with them. So first I'm going to go ahead and use the 9mm pistol, and that'll bring it down to 2 bullets. And that lets her defeat one of these guys because it's got range 1. And then the special ability of that is that she gets to immediately move in. Now it has to be the exact same location, which is sad because there is no bonus associated with where this soldier was. But she's at least in the training grounds immediately. And then as her character ability, she can defeat a soldier in her space. So she's cleared out both soldiers with no problem, with 1 action left. Now before we get to her second action, let's do some free actions. So first of all, she's getting a mission, just like her friend Marks has. Terminate with extreme prejudice. Destroy any 2 units in a turn. Well, sadly, well, let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in the rules that says, like, you need to do it while you have the mission card. I certainly destroyed 2 units in a turn, so I think I can complete this immediately. Now, clearly I can't retreat the Metal Dawn track, but I do get a skill, in this case, Counter Strike. Once per turn, after suffering damage from a unit, destroy that unit. That's awesome. I'm really excited about that. So, Nomad just became a nastier fighter than she already was. Unless you think that's all she's going to do for free, she's also at the training grounds, and she still has her zone activation. Draw a mission card and immediately equip it on one of your agents as a special ability. So, we're going to level up a little bit. We'll go ahead and put Team Red's token on there and see what mission skill we get. Marksman. All your weapon cards gain +1 damage. That is awesome. You know what? The guy's name is Marks, and Nomad already has a really cool skill, so we're going to give this to Marks with his assault rifle, and hopefully he'll blow up some more guys. Alright, so she's got one more action, and getting intel is generally a really good thing to do, because again, that's how you actually get the codes to win the game. So I'm going to move her to the power station. The little file icon means I get an intel card. And also because, since we didn't get any cyborgs last turn, I'm imagining we might get some this next turn, and she'll be set up without any actions to use the zone power to destroy one cyborg anywhere on the board. So we did clear out the entire board except for this one guy. We are kind of clustered together with Dominus, which, if people get kind of spread out around the board, might not be so great, but we're doing pretty well so far for the first round. Just to kind of show you how both my divisions of agents are looking at the end of the round. Red, Marks took 1 damage. They both fired their guns once, but they have med packs. We've got a micro rocket standing in my hand. I drew a 1 intel, which, well, that's not great, but at least I got some intel. They both got a power up. Marks gets bonus damage. Nomad can counterattack. Marks has a mission to destroy a cyborg. Hopefully he'll do that next turn. And we've got our once per game technology ability. Moving over to yellow, we've got 1 intel. Morgan can get us another one next turn. She didn't even fire her pistol yet. Earl has fired his assault rifle. He's got his rucksack. And we've got amazing helicopter and a combat knife just hanging out waiting for us to use them. Okay, so once all the agents have activated, we go into basically the bad part of the turn where Dominus gets to do some stuff. So first thing is Metal Dawn advances. It always goes 1 space. But remember, it can go more if we get damaged by enemies that are left. You'll see these little blue tokens on the track. These are called firewalls, and they each have a number on the back that corresponds to a special ability, which we're about to see. Whenever they're reached, they get flipped and resolved, but then they're gone. So if you retreat Metal Dawn back, you're not going to have to resolve them a second time. All right, so looking at number 2, drones replicate. For each drone unit on the game board, add 1 new drone unit to that drone's zone. This isn't too bad of a result. We only have 1 drone on the board. Now we do add another one, but firewalls can be a whole heck of a lot worse than that, so I don't really mind that result at all. So next, all the units on the board attack, and again, for each attack, they'll move Metal Dawn up 1, which is devastating, but everybody in the base game does only 1 damage except for the exterminators, who do 2. The nice thing is that if you are in a zone with enemies attacking, you can assign each attack to an agent and take damage to prevent Metal Dawn from going down. So since each of these drones is doing 1 damage, I'm just going to split it up. Morgan will take a damage, leaving her with 5. And Marks will take another damage, leaving him also with 5. Okay, finally we get to the worst part of the turn, where the Dominus cards are revealed. Basically, we're going to flip 1 of these for each player in the game. So in this case, I count as 2 players, so 2. The second one will determine where Dominus moves to, and he might resolve negative, like make missions fail automatically when he moves. But both of them are going to have spawning and potentially other abilities. Alright, so first you have the zone where it affects, and note that during game setup you get rid of any zones that aren't in game, because there are 7 and 9 here, and then you can't see them but 10, 11, 12 at the bottom. So it says zone 8, but unfortunately this is a really nasty card. I'm supposed to spawn 1 drone in every zone without a unit, which would be all of them except 3. I was kind of too successful. Now that's terrible. I really don't want to deal with that so early in the game. So it might be a little bit early, but I'm going to go in and use the technology divisions once per game power. I flip it face down and I cancel the special effect of a card I've just drawn, so I will spawn nobody, which I'm 100% happy with. Okay, now my second Dominus card. Okay, so first, before anything else happens, Dominus is going to move to the zone indicated. So he's moving over to zone 1 to torment us over there. If there were missions there, or characters with active missions there, he would immediately fail those missions and generally advance Metal Dawn 1 space, so not so great. Other effects. Zone 1's going to get a mission token. That's what this little thing means. And it happens after Dominus moves, so he's not going to discard that one. And then, oh my gosh. Spawning a drone, a cyborg, and an exterminator. That is nasty. A note about spawning. They always spawn in the order indicated on the card, from left to right and top to bottom. So drone, cyborg, exterminator, just how the card was. If I had too many, let's say that I had to spawn 2 more guys here, you fill as much as you can, and then the next one has to go to either of the adjacent zones. And again, they go to the first location available, always kind of going in the same direction as reading. Alright, because I got those nasty enemies, I do get a bonus. Mission accepted. Place a mission token in every zone adjacent to the active Dominus zone, not already containing a mission token. So I just got a ton of missions available to me. But don't forget, if we don't pick those up, or even if we do and then Dominus moves to us, he could move to them and advance Metal Dawn because they're there. So it's not always a good thing to have a ton of mission tokens on the board. Okay, finally we go into cleanup. All our characters are readied again, and they get back their zone activations to be able to use them next turn. Okay, here we are in round 2. We had a pretty good round 1, but now we've got a lot of drones over here, some really tough enemies over here. These exterminators do 2 damage and have 3 to 5 life, and can sometimes block other enemies from even being hurt. So they are nasty son of a guns. We did successfully hack one of Dominus's code cards. We're going to hopefully try to get another one this turn and just keep cranking along until we can get the robot down there and then blast him as hard as we can. Now I get to freely decide which division is the first to activate, so the players get to choose the first player each round. So I'm trying to decide. Earl Hawk gives me the free movement. Marks gives me the free reveal. That seems like it might be the best option. What I'm kind of thinking is this Exterminator is so tough to defeat normally. It's awesome if you can defeat him by using one of the little sniper abilities. So what I could do is activate Marks first, run him in here. His ability would let me reveal the Exterminator immediately. He could get a gun, get a mission. He could blow up the cyborg, which would complete his mission. Heck yes. And then I would leave the cyborg space open for either somebody to activate an assassination space or for Morgan to jump in and just assassinate him straight away. So, yeah, let's go ahead and activate the red team first, starting with Marks. And I'm not going to use the zone power here, which lets me get an extra weapon because he's not drawing a weapon right now. So for his first action, remember Marks has a med pack and a assault rifle. He's going to run over here. He's going to reveal this guy as he moves in. Wow, I didn't know Exterminator armor went this low. It's almost a waste to blow this guy up. But I'm still feeling pretty good about that. In addition, as he moves in, he gets a weapon card. In this case, it is a pocket pistol. After resolving an attack action with this weapon, draw 1 intel card. It does 3 damage, the same as his assault rifle, has less range, has the same number of bullets, but gives us free intel cards, which could let us hack Dominus. So that's pretty awesome. Alright, so I already have the rocket in my hand, which means, yeah, if I keep the pocket pistol in my hand, I just have to discard the rocket, or I can equip it to the guy in place of his assault rifle. Now, the thing is, this attacks up to 3 different units in the same target zone. I could just blow up all 3 of these guys and use this instead of the pocket pistol for future rounds. That seems too awesome to pass up. So for Marks' second action, he is going to, for a free action, he's going to equip the micro rocket, which means I still have the pocket pistol in my hand, but the assault rifle is gone. Again, you can't have more than one thing unless you have a rucksack. And then we're going to use, as a second action, the micro rocket. Now, he cannot pick up the mission, just a note, because he already has an active mission. But I'm going to do 4 damage to all 3 of these guys in my space. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, the Exterminator is killed, but we do have to reveal everyone we target before we defeat any of them, because if people have like defensive abilities, it can affect the results. Because this guy has 3, and this is a damage booster. So basically, if he was here, he would make everyone else worse. So it's good that we blew him up. Okay, we get another blast. So man, Marks is now down to 4 life. Luckily, he's got a med pack, so I'm not too worried about that. And I get to smash all 3 of these guys. Besides taking the damage, no special effects on me. Now, Marks did indeed destroy a cyborg unit, so he can either retreat Metal Dawn 1 space, or he can get stealth to go into occupied spaces. I'd like to get away from that second firewall token, so I'm going to go ahead and use this to retreat Metal Dawn and kind of take care of myself. So this gets discarded. I don't keep it since I used it for its Metal Dawn retreating effect. Alright, so Mark's moved and then attacked. He is going to use a free action to get this mission token, though. Alright, Smuggle plans. End your turn in the zone with another agent. Well, sadly, he's ending his turn now, so he won't be able to do that, but it should be pretty easy to do in a future turn. And you can get the Smuggler ability or retreat Metal Dawn, so we'll hang on to that and hopefully be able to do it really soon. So for the yellow team, we have to activate either Earl or Morgan. Morgan's set up to blast some guys, so it seems like that's kind of the obvious one to do. So she's going to use her first shot of her 9mm pistol, and that does 2 damage, but remember the drones are always easy to kill. Guy does not have an explosion, so he's just gone. Ability of the 9mm pistol lets her immediately move into the space that was vacated, and she also gets to use the power, so she's going to get to draw another weapon. Okay, so she gets a Room Sweeper shotgun. 3 damage, 2 shots, can target up to 2 different units in the same zone. That's excellent. Way better than her pistol. But the thing is, her pistol is still better than the combat blade, so I'm going to trash this from my hand and save the Room Sweeper with the attack helicopter in my hand. Now, she could have used her zone activation to get an additional weapon, but we don't have that much space, so it doesn't seem like that's a good idea. Alright, for her second action, she could blow up the drone, but we need to get some intel cards to actually hack Dominus. So I think she's going to move down here, you'll see it in a moment, to where there are 2 intel spots to choose from. Here, let me show you these icons on the Washington Monument, because we haven't seen these yet. A star lets you draw an intel card, or a gear card, or a weapon card, so it's kind of the wild. This lets you either get an intel card or immediately complete a mission you have, which is a nice little bonus, and that's just an intel card. So she's going to go to the intel card. This is her second action, and let's see what she draws. Okay, she gets a 2 to go with the 1. These are some low intel cards we're getting here. Not super happy about that. But don't forget, she's still got her automated manufacturing, so she's going to spend the last use to draw a 3rd intel card. And another 1. This is really rough because, you know, the last zone, the last code we had to beat was 5, and some of them have negative consequences. A lot of them do when you fail to beat it. So what I might want to do is use an action to use one of these intel actions. And let's see. So like this 1, I could discard this to destroy any unit in my zone. That might be the way to go. Complete a mission automatically. Draw the top weapon or gear card from the discard pile. Yeah, I might just want to clear these out. Or, I guess if I draw another intel, I can just get rid of a 1, because I don't know if I want to waste an action doing one of those. So let's see what maybe Earl can do later in the turn. Alright, next up is Nomad in the power station. There's no cyborg for her to destroy, but she will go ahead and get a mission. Okay, end your movement in Zone 10. Now, this is a pretty cruddy one to draw, because Zone 10 is a destroyed zone. I can still move there, but doing so will get me basically nothing. So I just have to spend a whole action to move there, and a whole action to move back. So, not great. The skill lets me take 1 less damage every time I suffer damage. That's pretty powerful, though. So, I might eventually do that mission, but I'm not in really much of a hurry. So, for actual 2 actions, Nomad's going to go on an intel hunt. She'll go down here for 1, and then right back to where she was for another. That'll bring her up. God, these low numbers are killing me. She's also got a 1, so 1, 1, and 2. Not looking great. I'm not feeling confident about hacking with any of these results right now. Okay, our last guy to activate is Earl, and he's going to go and use the zone ability to resolve an icon anywhere, and he's going to get another intel card, hopefully something higher than these stupid 1s. And he gets a 3. Okay, I can work with a 3. So I'm going to get rid of one of my 1s, leave myself with 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can hack something with that. I mean, it's a decent value. I'll probably just have to use all 3 of the cards. Okay, so for Earl's actual action, first of all, he gets a free... Remember, you can move somebody for free once per turn. He's going to move our friend Marks over here to take the damage from the probes. We don't advance Metal Dawn. And that also frees up a weapon spot for him to move into. So he's going to get another weapon. Heck yes. Oh man, this one is devastating. Light machine gun, 2 shots, 4 damage, or you can use it to do 3 damage to up to 2 different units in the target zone. So another area damage one, kind of like the shotgun I got. Really nice. And I already have the Room Sweeper in my hand, so I can't hold another weapon, but because Earl has the rucksack, he can hold 2 extra things. So there we go. Assault rifle, light machine gun, and rucksack holding it all together. Okay, for his second action, let's try a little hacking. We're going to use the 2 again, save the 1 and the 3, and see what happens with the code card. If the first attempt at hacking this code fails, treat this card's code value as 8 until successfully hacked. Well, nice for us. We got a 3 and a 2, so we still keep our weenie little 1. But we are successfully hacking another card. So we got our second robot out of 5, ready right there for us to start working on getting the other 3 and smashing this guy. Alright, we get to Dominus's turn again, and we are going to advance Metal Dawn once. But it just goes back to the 2 where it was before. No firewall, so we're okay there. The drone attacks, so Marx is going to take another damage. He is now down to 3 life, but he can use his med pack next turn to go all the way back up to 7, so he's doing pretty well. So now we just have to resolve our 2 Dominus cards. First one's just going to spawn, second one will also move Dominus. Okay, in Zone 4, the Underground Garage, we're getting a drone and 2 cyborgs, no special instructions, no mission. Second one is Zone 2 in the Power Station, where Nomad already is. 1 soldier, hey, that's great, you can just destroy him for free. 1 exterminator, no special instructions, and no mission. So Dominus does go there, and this is unfortunate because, remember, whenever he moves into a place with a mission token or a character with an active mission, he makes it fail. So she loses her really tough, secure safe house mission, and Metal Dawn goes up to 3, 1 away from the firewall.